The following presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from the Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites, South Bay. The Holiday Inn Express is partnering with Channel 22 Sports to help promote our young people in sports competition and academics so that everyone in our community wins. The Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites. Stay smart. The following presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board is working together with Channel 22 Sports to promote an environment where everyone can maximize their career potential and so that all employers have the human resources they need to grow and prosper. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board. When you need us, we're there for you. Thanks for joining us on the High School Game of the Week. We are at Peninsula High School in Palos Verdes. Boy, it's going to be a blustery day. It's beautiful towards downtown LA where the wind is coming off of the Pacific Ocean. It's a little breezy and may bring some wind. And we have some big running teams. Both teams are going for the Bay League title today. Peninsula Panthers and the Leuzinger Olympians right here on Channel 22 Sports. How are you today? I'm Lou Stowers along with Charity Bailey, and joining us for the first time is Omar Smith from the San Jose Spartans, also the San Jose SaberCats, and the Tampa Bay, I'm sorry, their name skips me, Omar.
Tampa Bay Storm Arena Football League.
And he has 3 Arena Bowl championship trophies with him as well, so we are so happy to have Omar joining us today in place of Rufus Washington. We had to get somebody with that much knowledge to replace Rufus, who's been with us for 18 years.
Yeah, Rufus is hard to replace, but we got a close guy for us.
You got some big shoes to fill, let me tell you.
I'm sure they are big. I'm gonna do the best I can, and hopefully it's a good game, and we'll have a good have a good showing today.
That's right. It's going to be a good show as well, Charity Bailey, because both teams, like we said, are going to go for the Bay League title today. Both teams are at 3-1, but the playoff map to the playoffs is so jumbled. We need a map, and you have it.
That's right. This is almost worse than the BCS what we got going on here today. We got our own Bay League toss-up. Basically, this is how it goes down. If Peninsula wins or loses, they are in. Now, if Leuzinger wins, they're in. However, if Miracosta wins, that means that, and Leuzinger wins and Miracosta wins, Peninsula, Miracosta, and Leuzinger will all go. If Leuzinger loses and Miracosta wins, then Leuzinger still goes. So the only way that Leuzinger won't go is if Redondo wins and they lose tomorrow. So Coach Witt says that's not a problem. He says at 4:30 they're going to be the Bay League champs.
That's right, Omar. You had a chance to meet Coach Witt. What was your impressions of him when you asked him what were the keys to the game?
Very simple keys. Stop number 34. Cyrus Shabazian, that's the bread and butter of the Peninsula offense, and the main focus for the defense of the Olympians is to stop him. And if they do that, they should go home with the championship.
And Charity, penalties really bit Leuzinger last week.
Yeah, last week they had about 12 or 13 penalties and lost 123 yards. But Coach Witt says they are not dealing with any of that today. He says they're going to play the game, they're going to play against the team and not the refs. So they're going to go for what they know.
That's right. There's going to be the Big Cats and Cyrus Shabazian against Thunder and Lightning, Tullian Rogers. It's going to be a terrific game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's going to be the Panthers hosting the Olympians on Channel 22 Sports. And just before kickoff in beautiful Palos Verdes, thanks for joining us on Channel 22 Sports. I'm Lou Stowers, up in the booth with Omar Smith. And down on the field, it's Charity Bailey, and we're going to be kicking this ball off. It will be in for receiving the kick. It'll be Cartier Davis, Sione Tooley, and Mark Rogers to receive the kick from Ben Bobbitt. And this is going to be a big fight because both of these teams are undefeated at home, Peninsula, and Leuzinger is undefeated on the road, both 4-0. Kickoff is short, taken at about the 35-yard line, and a short return, actually the 25-yard line, returned back to almost the 29-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Olympians, and we're going to get this championship game underway.
Definitely, and interesting point to begin the game. The kickoff was a little bit short, and that could have been by design. Maybe Peninsula's a little scared of the return men, number 4 and number 5, Rogers and Tooley, so they decided to kick the ball short to one of the up front guys.
So it'll be 1st and 10. Mano Sacona's the quarterback. Sione Tooley is the wingback on the left side. Mark Rogers on the right side. And Rogers will get the handoff to start things off and gets a nice block and out of bounds after about a 6-7 yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Olympians.
Yeah, Mark Rogers with the handoff right there, and we're going to see a lot of that today. He is a great running back, small, elusive, and very hard to tackle.
11:30 left to go, just underway here in the first quarter. Bay League championship on the line for both teams as Rogers with a 7-yard gain. Check that, 7-yard gain. Rogers will get the ball again. Actually, Sakona going to throw the ball, throws it downfield, has a man open, and Monroe Ross has it at the 25 and is tackled at the 20. Terrific play by Monroe Ross, Omar, with his concentration.
Very good concentration. And the thing with the wing T offense, you run the ball so much, those defensive guys start coming up, sneaking up, trying to get in position for the run, and you come with a play action pass and throw it right over the top of the DBs, and that's exactly what the Leuzinger Olympians offense did right there for a big gain.
43 yards on the catch to Monroe Ross, and it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Pitch to Sione Tooley, has a hole, gets to the 10-yard line, and Sione Tooley may have another first down, Omar. So it'll
Definitely come with the thunder and the lightning and the big pass play to begin this game. That's a great way to start this game, and the coach for Leuzinger has to be glad with the way his offense has come out and moved the ball.
There also you see Solomon Tuhuluaki as it's 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Rogers will get the pitch, tries to go inside, and he is tackled. Good pursuit by Peninsula as there goes my stat sheet. Okay. As Rogers maybe gets a half a yard on the play.
It's going to be a key for the Peninsula defensive linemen to get off those blocks to get some penetration into the backfield, as they did right there on that run play.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 as Tooley has it, trying to cut inside, trying to fight for the goal line, is close, but I believe Sione Tooley is just short on a big tackle from behind.
This wing T offense is so difficult to stop, and you don't really see that week in and week out, so you have only a week to prepare, and it's hard to get a game plan to stop this wing T offense. You see the quarterback hands the ball off, and he gets out in front and blocks also.
That's right. Sakona is so good at that, Omar. So here comes Mark Rogers trying to go outside, gets a nice kick-out block, and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Leuzinger. Mark Rogers with the score from a yard out. It's 6-0 Olympians.
They made quick work of that drive. You see Mark Rogers right there, 5'7", 160 junior, one of the top running backs in the Bay League, gets the handoff, gets outside, and get the key block by number 50, Sean Lavatai. Makes
He's
a key
big
blocking. Rogers cuts right up and under his blocking in for the touchdown.
Here comes Tooley, and he gets rocked as he gets into the end zone. But that's a huge 2-point conversion for the Olympians. It's 8-0.
Yes, 2-point conversions early on in the game can prove monumental towards the end of the game, depending on the outcome and the scores.
And that's been a huge part of the Olympians' game is they really don't have a kicking game. Anthony Leakey is really their place kicker, but he's just learning how to play the game right now as far as the place kicker goes. But the 2-point conversion, this team will live and die by the 2-point conversion, Omar. Sometimes it'll come back to haunt you.
Yeah, when you don't have a good kicking game, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. But when you have an offense like this and you can run the ball as well as Leuzinger can, it could be a good thing.
The kick is short, and it's picked up by Ryan Benevento, and the return is up to about the 35-yard line. Good pursuit by the Olympians.
Yeah, short squib kick. The Peninsula return man bobbled it a little bit, but he recovered the ball, secured the ball, and made what he could, got as many yards as he could out of that return.
And Coach Wood was talking to you before the game. You asked him if there's any guys that are going to move up to Saturdays, and he mentioned Solomon Tulahuaki, the senior defensive end.
Very good-looking defensive end, very athletic.
As now the ball is taken by Cyrus Sabazian, and he just goes up to the 40-yard line, and just like that, the Olympians give up a big gain.
Yeah, like we mentioned in the pregame, the key to this Panther offense is number 34, Cyrus Shabazian. You see here on the replay, gets through the line of scrimmage and breaks free on the first offensive play for the Panthers, and that's got to do a lot for the offensive momentum because after Leuzinger went down there and drove for a touchdown, they need to do the same thing.
Eric Burns now hands the ball off again. This one time is to Benevento. Benevento gets it all the way down to about the 10-yard line, so 2 big running plays for the Panthers.
And it's going to be a lot of running in this game here. Both teams run the ball 85% of the time, and you see why they do that. They're very successful, and you see Peninsula march down the field in 2 plays. They're already going in for a touchdown.
Eric Burns is under center, hands the ball off, and right up the middle goes the running back. Maybe gets a couple of yards. As it'll be 2nd down and about 8 yards to go. So Peninsula still has an opportunity to get a 1st down at about the 1-yard line. 7:40 left to go, 8-0 Olympians.
At the rate they're moving, they won't even need a 1st down. They'll punch it in within the next couple plays.
We'll see how the defense holds. Here comes Cyrus Shabazian. Cuts to the outside and into the end zone. Touchdown, Peninsula.
You see the Olympians make quick work of it, and so Panthers come back and say, we can also. They go down in 4 plays, and that offensive line really got good drive on the Olympian defensive line, and Cyrus does barely get touched, and when he does get touched, he's in the end zone.
And coming on to tack on the extra point is Ben Bobbitt, the junior place kicker. Snap back, ball down, kick is up and good. And with 7:25 left to go in the 1st quarter, it is 8-7 in favor of the Olympians, and it's a good thing that 2-point conversion worked.
Yeah, and that could loom huge later on in the game. Interesting call for Peninsula head coach to go for the 1 point and not go for the 2 to tie it up. But it is early on in the game, and if you look at the coach's rule book, you don't really want to go for 2 until later on in the game, because if you don't get it, you're down 6-8.
That's right.
So you want to just tack on that 1 extra point and see how the game plays out and determine what you need to do later on in the game.
So Shabazian with a 10-yard run to make it 8-7 in about a minute and a half, 4 plays following up a 6-yard or 6-play drive by the Olympians, and the big play on that was the 43-yard pitch and catch from Sakona to Monroe Ross. Bobbitt getting set to kick things off to the Olympians, and he kicks this one further downfield where it's taken by the Olympians. And Mark Rogers spinning away from tacklers and gives good field position to Leuzinger at about the 39-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10.
Mark Rogers on the return. You see how electrifying that guy is. Makes guys miss, turns into a decent return, the ball out to the 38-yard line, where this Olympian offense gets ready for their second drive.
And let's see if the Olympians can come back, see if we have a shootout, as that's what the Olympians have been getting involved with the past few games, is some offensive shootouts. So the double handoff goes to Rogers up the middle, gets past the 45-yard line, and dives towards the midfield stripe. It'll be 2nd down and short.
Yeah, when you mention the word shootouts, you usually think balls in the air, a lot of touchdown passes, but on the contrary, this is going to be a shootout in different proportion. A lot of running. As you see here, the misdirection double handoff caught the Peninsula Panthers off guard. Well designed, well executed.
Well, you went to San Jose State, Omar, and I don't know if there were any teams that high up that ran a wing tee, or any, but in high school I'm sure that you faced it. How do you stop it?
That's a very tough question, and there's a lot of coaches wishing they had the answer to that. And the key thing is you want to take the wing tee offense out of what their base runs. You don't want to let them run up the gut. You want to make them go to the perimeter, run to the outside, because in the wing tee you want to get the ball up the middle, and you want to get those defensive linemen and those linebackers to stack up in the middle and make the runs both to the outside.
Where it's a 1st down is a 10-yard run for Rogers, as now Tooley gets the ball, trying to come around the short side, spins around, gets up to maybe the 50-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds, where it will be 2nd down and long for the Olympians. So Sione Tooley with 1,217 yards on the year coming in on 117 carries, has 11 touchdowns. That's Thunder. And then Mr. Lightning in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, 1,835 yards for Sione's counterpart, 21 touchdowns on 198 carries. So Sione is a senior, and hopefully there will be a college scout out there that'll pick up a diamond in the rough. 2nd down and 11 is a 1-yard loss as it goes to Rogers. Or check that, that's Daniel Levitai. Daniel Levitai gets a 1st down on a 12-yard gain. There's that misdirection to the big fullback.
And the tough thing for the Peninsula Panther defense is you got your eye on Mark Rogers and you got your eye on Sione Tooley, but you lose the other guy, Daniel Levitai, and he's a pretty good runner also at the fullback position. So this is a very difficult offense to defend.
1st and 10, Rogers gets the pitch, gets the hole, gets away. There he goes to the 10, 5, touchdown, Leuzinger.
Mark Rogers, a great run, gets out into the open field. Nobody's going to catch that guy when he gets out in the open.
And Rogers with a 40-yard touchdown. That's touchdown number 22 on the year. Actually, they make that number 23 because that's the 2nd touchdown of the game.
Yes.
I'm running out of fingers and toes already. And it's only 6:07 into the 1st.
Well, the way this Olympian offense is executing their plays, there's going to be many more touchdowns for Mark Rogers tonight.
And here comes the 2-point try, and this one is not going to work. As the Peninsula Panthers, you can see that they are just vicious on defense. They don't stop until the man is down, let alone the ball.
Very true.
And
very
now we
well
can
coached,
see why.
Very, very well coached defense the Panthers are. And they're going to just have to play this game and find a way to slow down this running game. You're not going to be able to stop this running game. You just need to slow it down.
Watch
And you
this
see
pursuit.
here, you do a good job getting defenders to the ball. You see how many gold helmets are corralling that ball carrier, and that's why he didn't convert the 2-point conversion.
3 possessions, 3 scores. So we promised you an exciting game, and you're getting it. It's the Bay League Championship. Peninsula High School and Leuzinger High School. Levitai, Squibb kicks it. It'll be picked up at the 23-yard line. Getting up to about the 40-yard line as the return man gets it to about the 41. A nice return on the play by Peninsula. As that was number 22, Brian Bevanetto.
Yeah, that's
one of the running backs on this
special teams for the Olympics. They don't want to kick that ball deep to number 34, Cyrus Sebastian. He's the man for this Panther team, and they do not want the ball in his hands.
From the 41-yard line, 1st and 10. As the ball gets away, it's to the big fullback. Actually, all the way down to the 30-yard line. That's the tight end, I believe, that had the ball. Or was that the
quarterback?
The quarterback. That was Eric Burns. Check that. I was seeing 2 8s there. Eric Burns with a big run.
Yeah, that right there was an option play, and he had the option to give the ball to the fullback or keep it himself, and he definitely made the right decision there by keeping the ball, running around the edge, cutting it back for a huge gain for the Panther offense.
That goes all the way down to the 30-yard line, so a 29-yard gain for Eric Burns and the offense. Straight handoff goes to Bevanetto. He dives through, spinning through the line, and no fear in these running backs of the Panthers either. A nice gain, about 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Panthers, and they're already on the run.
Yeah, the offense is for the Panthers is executing their plays just as well as the Olympians' offense, as you see right here on the replay. Good gain on 1st down.
Well, that spin move by Bevanetto really faked out about 3 Olympians as they grabbed air on the right, and Bevanetto went to the left. Man in motion to the far side. Burns hands it off to the, actually, does he keep the ball? Yes, he does. As he gets down close to the 15-yard line, maybe inside the 10, as it's a 1st down. Good misdirection by Eric Burns.
Yeah, the Panthers come with the option again, and the quarterback's job is to look at the defensive end, and he's going to fake the ball to number 34, and if he sees the defensive end close down, he's going to keep it, and that's exactly what happens. He's watching that defensive end, and his action is determined by what the defensive end does. If he collapses, he's going to keep the ball and run around the outside, and that play's been very successful for the Panther offense. They've ran it twice already on this drive.
All the way down to the 6-yard line, an 19-yard gain, and rough going now inside the 10-yard line for the Panthers. As that was Ryan Ramirez trying his best to burrow his way to the end zone as it's 2nd down and goal, about a 2-yard gain.
I like what the Panthers are doing on offense. Even though number 34, Cyrus Sebastian, is the go-to guy, they're not giving him the ball every single time. They're spreading the ball around. The quarterbacks run the ball a couple of times. Ramirez has run the ball, so they're keeping the Olympian defense off balance.
4 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the 1st quarter. It's 14-7, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Peninsula. Panthers with a 4-yard touchdown run, and there's that guy, Cyrus Shabazian, with the score.
Cyrus Shabazian on the touchdown, very elusive runner. He's a small guy, 5'6", 170. Leuzinger Olympians have their work cut out. Not only do they have to find this guy, but they also have to try to tackle him. And you see here in the replay, there's a guy right in position right there, but he's so elusive, throws a spin move, and he gets in for the score.
Now they've been coached very well at using that spin move. All of their running backs have been doing that so far as the kick is up, and it is true and through. So it's now tie ball game at 14. 4-yard run by Cyrus Shabazian. A 6-play drive, almost 2 minutes, and it's 14 all. So 4 possessions, 4 scores.
Yeah, in a game like this, when both offenses are executing at the highest level, turnovers are going to loom very, very huge. And when you got 2 running teams running the ball as much as they do, missed tackles are going to be huge. So it's 14-14 game, and it seems like every time whoever has the ball is going to score. So turnovers and missed tackles are going to loom huge in the outcome of this game today.
Absolutely, and quite a turnaround. Again, I've been bringing this up all season long, Omar, is that the Leuzinger Olympians were 1-5 in league last year, and now they're 3-1, looking to go 4-1 and take a league championship. But he said, we don't have any time to look back. All we're doing is looking forward.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a true test of a heads-up coach with trying to put a good program together. It's all about the next game.
Bobbitt's kick goes to the 10-yard line, picked up by Rogers, who gets back to the 30-yard line. Nice 20-yard return for Lightning, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for Leuzinger at their own 30.
Yeah, now it's the third drive for the Leuzinger Olympians, and I'm sure they're going to come with what they've been doing already, and they've been very successful, and that's getting the ball in the hands of Mark Rogers, and he's got the ball in his hands right there. Good return man right there.
Last week, the Olympians gained over 400 yards, I believe about 444 yards against South. Man in motion is Roger, or check that, Tooley. Tooley goes back against the grain to try to get some yardage out of it and does salvage about 3 yards. So it'll be 2nd down and 7.
And that's what you want. Like I mentioned earlier, you want to clog up the middle, and that's what they did right here. They got those defensive linemen, good push in the middle, and Tooley had to find an alternate route, so he had to cut it back. And you see the defenders all over the place. Number 22, once again, Ramirez on the tackle. Excuse me, Benevito.
He has too many vowels. 2nd down and about 4 yards to go. Rogers gets the ball, trying to go around the far end, gets away from 1-2 tacklers, and finally runs out of room on the far sideline, where it's good enough for a 1st down up to the 43-yard line. Nice gain for Rogers.
Very good gain. And the thing is there, the Panthers were defensive play fairly well. They had defenders in position to make the tackle, but Mark Rogers is so elusive. He gets through, shakes tacklers, and turns that minimal gain to a big gain. Now it's 1st down again. They keep the chains moving.
2 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the 1st quarter. Coming to the near side, wide out, it is Chris William. And in tight, of course, is Rogers and Tooley. Behind them is Daniel Levitai. Rogers gets the ball again. Rogers to the 50-yard line. And a good 1st down yardage, about 8 yards on that gain by Rogers.
And that's what Coach Witt wants. He wants to be in 2nd and short situations. If you can get 5, 6, 7, 8 yards on 1st down, that's putting your offense in a great situation because you have many different plays you can call on 2nd and short.
I was hearing Coach Witt talk to Tooley, or check that, Rogers, before the game during warmups, and he kept saying one word: 7, 7, 7. Here comes the misdirection as Tooley gets the ball, and another 1st down inside, deeper inside of Panther territory, down to the 45-yard line. 1st down Olympians.
We've seen that play a couple times already today. The misdirection. You give the ball to Mark Rogers heading outside, and Tooley comes underneath him on the inside trap play. And the double handoff you see right here has been very successful for the Leuzinger Olympians.
That's a good thing because you could see big old number 57 in Brown, 6'3", 265, Todd Huber, looking Mark Rogers in the face. So he's a pretty smart guy getting rid of the ball.
Yeah.
Sakona keeps the ball himself, runs into a guy, but he's big enough to bounce off the interior lineman and still get about 1.5 yards out of it.
Yeah, they try to come with the misdirection, fake the pitch to Mark Rogers, and have the quarterback keep it. And he's a big guy, but the penetration for the Panther defense hindered him from getting up into a hole. He ran up the backside of his own offensive lineman, and after that, he was surrounded by Panther defenders.
Yeah, I think if Mano Sakona was a garden variety quarterback, Omar, he would have been stuffed for a loss, but he's a converted lineman, so
yeah,
he got positive yardage.
All he has to do is just fall for it. He'll gain 2 or 3.
Sakona's going to pass it. 2nd down and 9, has a man open. It's Ross, has it. Touchdown, Leuzinger! 44 yards, Manus Sakona to Monroe Ross. That was a huge play, especially in a big breeze.
Yeah.
You know, I would have bet my mortgage, Omar, and I did that pretty much with you before the game, that there was no way these two quarterbacks were going to pass, and here's Sakona throwing two big passes.
He has a big time arm, and you see it there. You run the ball, and the defensive backs is kind of low and get sleepy back there, and that Olympian offense just beat them over the top once again.
Thule gets it, goes right up the middle, 2 points. And that makes the score 22-14. So a huge play. Talk about a misdirection. Sakona really did the misdirection over the top on the Panthers.
Yeah, definitely. They had the fake the run. Very good play action on the run. And the receiver just got behind the defensive backs, and quarterback with a huge arm, Solomon Tuolaki. I need to work on my vowels.
It takes about a month. Just ask Coach Betty, the volleyball coach. See, I use her first name. I don't use her last name.
Okay.
And Charity Bailey has an update. Let's go down to her.
All right, guys, earlier today I spoke with Coach Witt before the game, and he told me, he said, Charity, don't be late. Warn everybody, this is going to be a shootout. He says you have two running teams that are going to be going blow for blow. So tell them, don't sleep. Come to the game and get there early. And as you see, the first quarter has been that. Point for point, blow for blow. Guys, this is going to be an intense rest of the game. Coach Witt says that numbers mean nothing, weather means nothing, it's all or nothing. So we're going to continue to watch and see what goes down. Back up to you.
All right, Charity, you just missed a knockout blow on a touchdown-saving kick return as Marquittin Mitchell, I believe, really made that stop, and I believe that was on Ryan Bevanetto.
That was a touchdown-saving tackle right there, because the return man got into the seams and was going to go for pay dirt.
And some good defense by the Olympians on that play, as I believe the Olympians may be a bit fired up with 10 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, definitely. And if the Olympians can hold strong here and get the Peninsula Panthers to punt, that tackle on that special team will loom even larger than it appears to be right now.
And that's going to end a successful first quarter, the Olympians leading the Panthers 22-14 in what has amounted to a Bay League championship game. Both of these teams at 3-1, as Leuzinger looking to win and take the title and a playoff spot.
Yeah, a lot on the line, and this is what the whole season comes down to. You got two teams fighting for a league championship, and their players are ready. They're executing the game plan, and this is a great atmosphere, you know, for the people to come watch the game, and everything is going to put on the line. And it seems like it's going to be a game that's going to come down to the last possession, maybe.
Well, Leuzinger had a 70-play drive and 7 plays, 44 yards to Mano Sakona to Monroe Ross. And what started out as a beautiful afternoon here in Palos Verdes is somebody turned the air conditioner on and left the window open. As here comes Cyrus Shabazian, and Shabazian got hit in the Shanagan. Good stop by the Olympians.
The Olympians' defense are holding strong finally, and they got them in a third and long situation. And this is a key play for this Olympian defense. If they can hold them here and their offense can keep executing, this may be the one and only stop that can put them over the top.
Well, this would be the first time either team has been stopped in the ball game. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possessions, 5 scores. Big 3rd down and 4 play as Burns still has it, rolls out for the pass on the play action. No! Monroe Ross and Chris William were there defending, and the pass was intended for Wes Racht, and it's going to be 4th down and 4 yards to go. Are they in 4-down territory, Omar?
No, I think it's early on in the game. You want to let the game play out, and you want to kick the ball deep. And the way this Olympian offense is executing, you don't want to give them a short field, because if you don't get it, they got the ball at midfield, and not that difficult to score at the rate they're going.
So the ball will be punted away. Back to receive it is Monroe Ross with 11:15 left to go in the first half. So the first stop of the game is by the Olympians. The high kick, spiral. Monroe Ross is going to let it bounce, and it's just going to die right there inside the 20-yard line. At about the 17-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10. So that, I believe, is the worst field position of the day for the Olympians.
Yeah, they're backed up, but the way they're executing on offense and the way Mark Rogers and Sione Tully are running the ball and that offensive line is getting pushed, they can be backed up to the one and they put a 99-yard drive together.
So the 44-yard pass play from Sakona to Ross really stunned the Panthers and lifted up the defense, makes the Panthers punt as here comes Tully going around the far side and is tackled hard just before he gets to the 20-yard line.
Good job by the Panther defense right there, stringing that play out, having the offense being stretched out to the sideline and allowing the defenders to get off their blocks and make a play.
2 yards on the gain. A big stop by Derek Pavia. He's one of the big men on defense, as Coach Urububu told us. See, there's another one of those names that we can't get right.
Yeah.
10 minutes and 28 seconds left to go in the first half. 22-14. As the handoff right up the middle is to Daniel Levitai, and he gets it across the 20-yard line where it will be a big 3rd down play. Ball is spotted right on the 20-yard line.
Now, this is a situation Coach Witt does not want to be in. He does not want to be in 3rd and long situation. Your running team and the go-to receiver is on the sideline, and it's 8 yards to pick up. You can do it, but you don't want to put that much pressure on your offense.
3rd down and a long 6. Call it a 7-yard play. 9:41 left to go in the first half. Let's see if the Olympians can make it go here, and I do believe it's going to be too much time as the back judge threw the flag up in the air.
Definitely not a good move for the Olympians. You want the offense that, like with the wing T, you want to go forward. You don't want to have penalties moving you backwards. And now you're in a 3rd and long situation. And here comes your go-to receiver, Monroe Ross. So that should tell the Peninsula defenders that this most likely is going to be a pass play.
It'll be 3rd down and 11. They've been living and dying by the run, but the pass has been a nice luxury. As Sakona is going to pass. Goes back, has a man open again. Monroe Ross has it. Falls down at the 45-yard line. A 1st down. Might have gotten a little greedy, think the fans, but oh, what a play by Ross and Sakona again.
That was a very nice throw and catch. And the coach for Peninsula, Aruburu, cannot be happy with that. That was the first situation where the Olympians had to throw. And you might want to call a defense where you got those guys back there. For some reason, Monroe Ross finds a way to get behind the secondary of the Panthers.
Another 40-yard plus hookup to Monroe Ross as the pitch goes to Rogers. Cuts back inside, spins around. Might have been a little face mask in there, but no flags. As it's about a 5-yard gain for Mark Rogers.
They're going back to the bread and butter. Pound the ball, pound the ball, pound the ball with Rogers and Sione Tully.
So it'll be 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain. And there goes Monroe Ross. It's going to be split wide to the right. So now you have thunder and lightning and now hail. As Sakona is hailing the ball. Here comes Mark Rogers pushing his way through. And a big rumble there. Some huge blocking up front by this line of the Olympians with 8:15 left to go in the first half.
That Panther defense is really at a disadvantage because you got to keep 8, 9 guys in the box, but you got to keep a couple DBs back for the deep pass play. And if you had the defensive backs that can just cover man-to-man. You can put 10 guys in the box and just leave one guy to play man-to-man on the receiver, but unfortunately the Peninsula Panthers don't have the players to do that.
Here comes another big third down play, 3rd and 3 for the Olympians as Tooley gets it, has a couple of blockers, goes in between it, but look out, a nice defensive play as the ball gets loose, and let's see who has the ball. As there's a loss on the play, back around the 41-yard line, a 2-yard loss. Good defense by the Panthers.
Very good defense. That was a good. Looks right here like they're going to get to the edge, but number 23, Uzoma Idai, if I'm saying that correctly, does a good job getting off the block and making a very, very big hit on the running back, Sione Tooley. And that's the first defensive stop for the Peninsula Panthers.
So turnabout's fair play. It's 7:08. They'll punt the ball. Sione Tooley gets it, punts it. Nice punt. Fair catch is called for. And the Panthers will just let it roll to the 10-yard line. Nice punt into the wind by Sione Tooley. So 6:56 left to go in the first half. And turnover on a punt. And let's see if the defense can hold again as Sione Tooley doing the job with his feet, both on the ground and kicking the ball away.
Yeah, the trend of the game is whatever Leuzinger does, Peninsula does. Leuzinger got the ball first at the beginning of the game, went down and scored. Peninsula scored. Leuzinger comes back with a score. Peninsula scores. Leuzinger gets a stop. What do you know? Peninsula gets a stop.
22-14, Leuzinger leading the Panthers. Winner gets the Bay League title as the ball goes right up the middle and Leuzinger's defense stacks up. Number 34, Cyrus Serbazian. So a gain of maybe 1.
At this point in the game, the defensive coordinators are kind of getting a feel of what the offense is trying to do, and they're starting a game plan and get guys in the right positions, and they're trying to tighten up a little bit on the run, and you're not seeing as many big runs as you saw in the first quarter.
So it's a 4-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Man in motion is the tight end. And the ball comes over to the far side. And a good pursuit by the defensive line and the linebackers of Leuzinger.
Yeah, a very good job of the front 7 getting off blocks and making a play. Now in a situation like this, the Leuzinger defense is coming up to stop the run. Peninsula might have to take a page out of the Leuzinger playbook and throw a deep pass to keep those defensive backs honest and move those guys back a little bit, because you see they got them in a 3rd and short situation, and you know they're ganging up on the run and they're doing a good job stopping the run.
And Daniel Matthew is wide out, but now here comes Cyrus Shabazian. Just breaks out from the line of scrimmage and gets all the way up to the 42-yard line. A huge gain and a 1st down for Peninsula. That big play, unfortunately, kicking the Olympians here early on.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's a situation you stop them on 1st down, stop them on 2nd down, and when you need the crucial stop on 3rd down so you can get your offense back on the field, you don't quite execute as well. You miss a tackle, and the Peninsula Panthers keep their drive going.
So 22, 25-yard gain by Shabazian. And back split in the eye now for Eric Burns as the ball is handed off. And still a gain, even though it's a scrum. It is just a battle of these two lines.
Yeah, and it's all about penetration and push. The defensive line wants to get push and push those offensive linemen back. And on the other hand, the Pennsylvania offensive line, they want to get pushed so they can get room for those running backs to find creases and get into those holes and get big gains in the running game.
46-yard line where it's 2nd down. Shabazian gets the handoff straight up the middle, and the hole is plugged up by the Olympians. Good pursuit there again.
Yeah, play made by Josue Navas. Stand corrected there. He's been doing a pretty good job getting off blocks. He's made a couple plays. You see here, you're going to see number 57 come into the screen, right there, making the tackle right on contact, so Cyrus doesn't get yards after contact.
Good tackling, too, not trying to get him up high, get him where he can't run, just tie his shoes together. 3:55 left to go in the first half, 22-14. Leuzinger with the lead. Quick handoff, first down for the Panthers, and another third down conversion for Peninsula. Cyrus Shabazian with the first down.
The last two third downs, they got the ball in the hands of Cyrus Shabazian, their go-to guy. And maybe that's something they should have did on the very first third down when they tried to throw the pass and came up incomplete. In the situation, you got to convert something. You got to get the ball into your playmaker.
Well, one thing that both teams have done, even though they haven't scored lately, is they've been chewing up a lot of time on the clock, Omar, as the ball is to Shabazian, cuts back in, gets good yardage after he was stopped at the line of scrimmage, and gets down to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, they've definitely been chewing up the clock and having long drives. And talking to Coach, how do you say that?
Urubaru.
One of the keys for the Peninsula Panthers is to keep Leuzinger's offense off the field. And the way to do that is to keep your offense on the field and convert on third downs, which they have been doing here.
Second down and 4 yards to go. As the handoff goes to a fresh running back, maybe gets 2 yards. Ball was handed off to Ryan Ramirez. Ramirez falls forward down to about the 37-yard line, where it'll be another big third down and short for the Leuzinger defense.
Let's see if Coach Urubaru continues with the trend on third down, get the ball in the hands of Cyrus Shabazian, because he's converted 2 of the last third down conversions.
Sure has. 2 minutes and 12 seconds left to go. Eric Burns hands the ball off to Money. Shabazian gets away from one tackler, leapfrogs over another, and gets inside the 25-yard line, and another big third down conversion. That's the third down conversion in this drive.
Yeah, and actually it was the third of the game. They've had 4 third downs, and they converted the last 3, and it's all been by the hands or legs of that guy you just saw right there on screen, number 34, Cyrus Shabazian.
So it's 22-14, 1:45 running, clock is running. Full house backfield on the option play. Ball is handed off, gets to Ramirez, and he's pushed out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. So another first down, and it'll be first down and 10 from just outside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Peninsula have the 3 running backs in the backfield, and it's hard to key who's going to get the ball. And you see right here, run a little counter and get the ball into the hands of Ramirez. He gets to the perimeter. The defensive backs are kind of a little far back for a team that's playing against a team that's running the ball so much. You need to have those defensive backs up on the line, so if the ball gets to the perimeter, you got defenders right there to make a tackle.
So a 16-yard gain, and now Shabazian gets the ball, and he dances inside the 10 before he's stopped. And it'll be second down and about 4 yards to go. After the 16-yard gain by Ramirez, another 5 yards by Shabazian. With 1 minute and 15 seconds left to go in the first half, 22-14, as the Panthers are trying to get within a point before they go into the locker room. Ball is handed off, running into the line. Good stuff by the Olympians, but the running back gets inside of the 5-yard line, where it will be another big third down play, and that's Ryan Ramirez again. So Ramirez getting about 2 yards on that one.
With 48 seconds left and the clock running, it's imperative that Peninsula gets this ball in the end zone to cut the lead to 1.
Well, more importantly, the Olympians have to make a stop. Burns hands the ball off. Big stop up front. Getting first hit was Rosaki Hilt, and that's going to be 4th down as Shabazian, I do not believe, got the 4th down. He's about 2 yards short at about the 3-yard line, Omar.
Good job by the Leuzinger defense.
So 26.7 seconds left to go in the first half. There you see some good pursuit. Also in there, Cartier Davis and Juan Cavienga.
In a situation like this, I think this is a time where you may want to go. You may want to go for it. I mean, it's a huge game. The conference title is on the line, and you want to impose your will on the Leuzinger defense. If you're Peninsula, you want to prove to them that you're not afraid of them, that you can run the ball, and this is the time to do it.
Now this is the drive started back at the 10-yard line of the Panthers, and they've had some huge third down conversions.
Yeah, in a game like this, field goals aren't going to win games. Touchdowns are going to win the game.
15th play of the drive. Here goes to Shabazian. Good pursuit. Does he get into the end zone? Yes, touchdown Panthers. It's 22-20 with 20.6 seconds left in the half, and Shabazian has his third touchdown of the game.
And that could be a key play right there. If you go for the field goal, that gives the defense a sign of victory, because as a defender, when you hold a team to a field goal, you feel like you've won a little bit. And for the Peninsula to go for it on fourth down and score a touchdown, that's going to be a little demoralizing for the Olympian defense.
So a 3-yard touchdown run by Cyrus Shabazian. The kick is up, and it is good by Ben Bobbitt. So with 20.6 seconds left to go in the first half, it is 22-21. Leuzinger leading Peninsula in the Bay League Championship game.
(21-22) with 20 seconds left.
So a 90-yard drive put together as there you go, see the touchdown, Omar.
Yeah, they run the toss to try to get out to the edge. They get the ball in their playmaker, Shabazian. Linemen do a good job extending their blocks and creating lanes for Shabazian to see the hole and get through the hole to convert on the touchdown on a fourth down. Huge play for the Peninsula Panthers.
Let's go down to Charity.
On this field know the importance of this game. They know about the toss-up and what lies ahead if they win and what lies ahead if they lose. Coach Witt said this is the game that you circle on your calendar. He says this separates the real from the fake. He says we know that the championship, the road to the championship, goes through teams like Miracosta and Peninsula. So we're on the road to the championship, guys, and it's looking really, really, really steep. Back up to you.
I don't know, Charity. We're in the fast lane of this game right now on this road, and it is an autobahn, the way these two teams have been duking it out in the squared circle that is the gridiron. And it's been a terrific game to watch so far.
Yeah, and it's on the autobahn, but you don't have a Ferrari or Porsche. You got some big trucks up out on that autobahn, and they're moving because the running game of both teams is exceptional. I'm very impressed on how they're sticking with the running game and how they're executing the run game for both teams.
Bobbitt kicked it through the end zone with the wind, and that's the way they like it here as Rogers pops outside as a big hit, but Rogers only gets about 2 yards out of it, but the fans love that big hit.
Yeah, he only got 2 yards, but you hear the crowds go crazy, and that was the massive block by quarterback Solomon Tuoloaki, a punishing block as you see right here. Number 22 comes up and Payow, get on your back.
That's right. He'll see that in the film and said on Monday, actually Tuesday, and let's say a quarterback did that to you.
Yeah, and you don't see too many pancakes by a quarterback. And number 22 for Peninsula, he's going to remember that. Ryan Benevito, he's going to remember that come film session because his teammates are definitely going to let him know about it.
There you see on the left of your screen is Mano Sakona, a junior, so he'll be back next year. And also you see right there, this left tackle, Tim Tuuhalawaki, is a senior. Got to mention these guys. Sean Levitai, Abraham Cruz, Matthew Jones, also in there's Tawan Fletcher. Big part of this Olympian football team. 7 seconds left to go. Sakona's going to pass, fakes it, now goes downfield. It's Thule catches it, but it's out of bounds, and that's the end of the first half. And what a first half it was. 22-21, Leuzinger with the lead over Peninsula. And I just can't say enough about both teams.
Both teams, they came out, they didn't play tentative. They had their game plan. They came out and executed it very, very well. The run game is definitely in effect here for both teams, and the passing game is in effect for Leuzinger. They've hit the 3 deep passes to Monroe Ross, and they're going on all cylinders, and it's a very, very tight, close game. Turnovers are going to be crucial in the second half.
And you just saw Mike Witt, the head coach of the Leuzinger Olympians, who's been the architect of this turnaround from 1-5 to 3-1, hopefully 4-1 after this ball game is over. Omar Smith, what would you tell your Olympians going into the locker room?
First, I congratulate them on a very, very well played first half. Going on the road against Peninsula, very, very difficult team to go beat on the road. They haven't lost at home. And I would tell them to come out and play with that same intensity, that same execution. And if they do that, they should come out on top. But the key is defensively, they got to find a way to get 34 on the ground. They're getting in position to make tackles, but he's very, very elusive. They got to find a way to limit the running game a little bit on Peninsula.
We'll get Charity Bailey's take on things when we come back, and also the third quarter kickoff. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be a nail-biter. It's 22-21, Leuzinger over Peninsula at their house. We'll be back after this on Channel 22 Sports. And the toss for the third quarter kickoff is just about ready to go. And back with you at Peninsula High School, along with Charity Bailey on the field, and up in the booth with me for his inaugural broadcast, his inaugural ride, is Omar Smith, the pride of the Arena Football League and pride of Torrance as well. Glad to have you with us, man.
Great to be here. And if all the games are like this, man, that's an awesome thing. This is a great game, great first half, and I'm sure we're going to see nothing but the same thing in the second half for the battle of the Bay League Championship.
Seosiah McCullough, one of the captains, along with Solomon Tuolowake. And it appears that the Leuzinger Olympians will kick the ball off. And it is just going to be a rock'em sock'em second half. And boy, that sky and wind sure did get ugly there, didn't it?
Yes, it picked up.
And Charity Bailey has an update, and let's go down to the field where she is.
All right, guys. At half, I got a chance to catch up with Coach Wood. I asked him, I said, Coach, what is it that you're going to tell your team at halftime? He looked at me, he says, are you kidding? We're winning, 22-21. What's there to say? He says, we're going to come back out and we're going to play football. So let's get ready for some football. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Charity. And on the other side of the ball, Omar Smith, the Panthers are down by 1. Their home winning streak and their league title is on the line. What would you be telling the Panthers?
If I was a coach, I'd be telling them to keep doing what they're doing. And they're in I would say, a better situation than Leuzinger is. Even though they're down by 1 point, they get the ball first. And the trend of this game is if you have the ball, you're going to score. And if it's, they have the ball right now, if they go down and score first drive of the second half, they'll be in the lead. And it's basically going to come down to who has the ball last. Kind of reminded me a little bit of the Arena Football League. Basically, you score every time you have the ball. It's going to come down to who has the ball last.
Absolutely. Anthony Leakey is going to kick the ball off to the Panthers. 228 yards for the Olympians, 223 yards by the Panthers. And can't get any closer than that as the ball is picked up and up to about the 40-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Panthers to get things off as the tackle is made by Juan Cavienga. And the third quarter is underway. Here we go.
What are the odds of the first play being a run play?
That I won't bet my mortgage on.
I'm sure we're going to see a big dose of number 34, Cyrus Shabazian, in this second half in this offense.
Out of the eye, man in motion is Matthew, and there he is, gets the ball, and man, does he have a nice move. About a 10-yard gain for Shabazian right at the first down marker. He smells 10 yards and then falls down.
If you're Peninsula offense, if you can get a first down on the run, pick up 10 yards, that's what you're looking for. That's exactly what you want. You can keep doing that and march your way down the field, go down and score, and get a touchdown the first drive of the second half.
Backs out of the eye again for Eric Burns. Burns has it on the option. There goes Burns to the 40-yard line, and again about another 15, 14 yards for Eric Burns, and a first down into Olympian territory.
So they're definitely asserting themselves in this first drive of the second half. Run the ball, 2 plays, 2 first downs. And they're already inside the 40-yard line of the Leuzinger Olympians, looking to go down and score.
At the 34-yard line, so a 14-yard gain as Burns pitches the ball to Ramirez. Ramirez cuts the corner, and another first down. So the Panthers really have the hair up in the back of their neck, and they're baring their teeth at the Olympians. Some big gains.
Yes, they have 3 straight runs and 3 straight 10-plus yard gains. And if you're Coach Witt, this is what you don't want to see from your defense coming out of halftime.
A 20-yard gain by Ramirez. As you see him running down the near sideline of Monroe Ross, finally getting him out of bounds. Back split, man in motion. And the ball goes to the handoff underneath and getting loose underneath and inside the 10-yard line. And a tackle, a touchdown saving tackle as Shabazian gets through all of the through the Olympians, and another first down. What'll be first and goal.
Yeah, that running game is really carrying the load for this offense, and they're executing very, very well on this drive. And the Olympian defense has to do something to get the momentum, because as of right now, Peninsula Panthers definitely have the momentum in this football game.
They have just been going downhill ever since the third quarter started. Handed off to Shabazian, gets close to the end zone, down to the 1-yard line, so it's a 2-yard gain. But it will be second down and goal from the 2.
At some point in this game, I think Peninsula is going to have to throw the ball. Definitely won't be here, because the running game is really working for them. And
I was just going to say that, Omar. I'm sure the coach over there is saying you got to stop the run first before we're going to throw it.
Yeah, definitely.
As the handoff goes to Shabazian, gets in the end zone for a touchdown, and just like that, a big 60-yard gain, a 60-yard drive, and that puts it into the bank. It's now 27-22, and that's Peninsula's first lead of the ball game.
See here, off tackle to the right side, gets the ball to number 28, Ryan Ramirez, and he punches it in. Good drive by the offensive line of the Peninsula Panthers.
So a 7-play drive, snap back, bad snap, but it's recovered nicely by Burns, and the kick is through by Bobbitt, and that makes the score 28-22, Peninsula over Leuzinger, and the Panthers made that one look easy.
Yes, they did. That looked like maybe practice against the scout team or something, because they just drove the ball right down the field, getting plus 10 yards per rush for the majority of that drive. And let's see if the trend continues. Whoever has the ball is going to go down and score. And the way the Olympian offense played in the first half, I don't think we'll see anything different, but a lot of run, a lot of Mark Rogers, some Tioni Tooley, and the Olympian offense go down and score in their first drive of the second half.
So Shabazian with 3 touchdowns, and now Ramirez with 1 for the Panthers. And that was a 7-play, 60-yard drive, 1:52, capped off by Ramirez's 1-yard touchdown. 28-22, 10 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Here comes Bobbitt's kick. Sione Tooley gets it at the 5-yard line. Let's see if he can get some blocking up front. Gets around one man and almost broke free. Gets up to about the 25-yard line. It'll be first and 10 there for the Olympians.
Looks like we got a penalty. Looked like a block in the back by Leuzinger Olympians. Guy on the return team blocked the Peninsula Panther right in the back.
Well, that's what you don't want to see either, is now that you're down all of a sudden in the third quarter early on, you don't want to put yourself in trouble.
Yeah, as you see here on the replay, you see that guy, number 57, we mentioned earlier, Mr. Navas. Yeah, with the block in the back, and that pushes the ball back to the 10-yard line, and the Olympians have to start their drive backed up with horrible field position. They got to go 90 yards for a touchdown, and
now
this offense can't do that, though.
They sure can, as the Panthers did it in the first half on a 90-yard drive to score a touchdown. Let's see if the Olympians can do it. Going against the wind with 9:55 left to go in the first half. First time to have the ball as Rogers has it, gets through a tackle, gets plugged up. As good pursuit by the Panthers, but still another good gain on first down by Mark Rogers.
This offense is really coming out running the ball as they should, because the running game is working and getting the ball into the hands of Mark Rogers, their playmaker.
But Sakona can throw the ball as well. We'll see if he can throw it this way. He actually has thrown a 40-yard pass this way, going right to left across your screen as Seone Tooley is stopped. Good pursuit by the Panther defense, and then all of a sudden it's a big third down and long for the Olympians.
The Olympians haven't been in too many third downs, only 2 of them, and they've converted 1. And a situation like this, 3rd and 6, I would think they would probably get the ball into the hands of Mark Rogers again. But I wouldn't be surprised if they threw the ball.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen as Monroe Ross is split to the near side as Mark Rogers gets it, bounces away, has to get to the 20-yard line. Did he get there? We'll see where the officials spot the ball, Omar. It's going to be close as Rogers had some daylight, and just as that daylight opened up, that's shut by the Panthers, and let's see where that big spot is.
I don't think he got it. By the ref's reaction, yes, it's 4th down. Interesting call here to punt it, backed up, or to go for it.
Yeah, looks like they're going to go for it with less than a yard to go. Up to the 19-yard line. Let's watch the replay here as they're coming up real quick. Seone was just stopped short. So 4th down and 1. Tooley in motion. Sakona bulls his way through the line. First down, Olympians.
That looked like a no-brainer call right there. You got the big quarterback, and you got that offensive line that's been pushing the Panther defensive line around all day.
Well, that's like having a 6th offensive lineman out there.
Yeah, definitely. And you see right here, great push. You see the gold helmet getting pushed back. And like I mentioned earlier, quarterback Sakona could just fall for it and gain 3 yards.
So at the 24-yard line, New set it down, 7:25 left to go in the third. Tooley gets the pitch, gets a block from Sakona, gets another, about 7 yards out of that one, and that's more like the Olympians that we're used to seeing. Only 1 gear for Seone Tooley, and that's 5th gear. As you see him get that ball way outside, gets the block.
Good job, offensive linemen holding on to their blocks. They're getting attached to the defender, and they're holding on to those blocks, creating good lanes for the running backs to run through.
6-yard gain for Seone Tooley. It'll be 2nd down and 4, a long 3. Mark Rogers gets it, gets a nice block from Sakona. There goes Rogers to the 50 and is pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line. And Ben Bobbitt may have saved 6 points for the Panthers.
Good, very good run. Very well executed, getting Mark Rogers out to the perimeter. You see the nice block by the quarterback, Sakona. And that springs Mark Rogers for a huge run.
22 yards on the gain. And Rogers, known for his big runs, gets the ball again. They're going to cut inside, try to get outside. Good tackling by the Panthers. but still getting close to 4 or 5 yards. And let's see where this penalty is on, as Sione Tooley's clapping.
Looks like the Peninsula Panthers are getting a little rattled on the defensive end, and came with a little late hit by one of the defenders. And you don't want to see that if you're Coach Uberu. You don't want to see your players getting rattled, getting frustrated, because the game isn't going your way. And that's exactly what happened there, 15-yard penalty. And that just moves the ball even closer to the goal line for the Leuzinger Olympians.
So a huge penalty on the Panthers. We'll see the late hit coming in there by number 55, Brad Geslicki. Brad Geslicki, number 55. So now it's 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Mark Rogers gets the ball, and Rogers gets down to about the line of scrimmage, maybe a couple of yards on the play.
Mark Rogers is getting up a little slow. He's definitely got to be a little tired because he's been carrying the load for the Olympian offense. But in a situation like this, championship on the line, second half is 28-22. You can't be tired. Your teammates are depending on you to make big plays, and that's what he's been doing all game.
Well, he's come in with 198 carries as Tooley gets the ball now. Tooley puts his head down as was comparing him to his running style to Roger Craig of the 49ers. You being up there in San Jose have probably seen a little bit of his running.
Yeah, very strong runner, very motivated runner. He runs with high knees, and he's the type of runner, he's not going to finish the run until he's down on the ground. I've seen many a play where oncoming defenders try to tackle him and think he's down, but he keeps those legs pumping, and he fights for extra yardage.
A 5-yard gain for Tooley. It is 3rd down and 5. 5 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. Tooley gets the ball, runs into the line, tries to push it forward. Let's see where the spot is. Has to get to the 20-yard line. This is going to be another close one, Omar.
Yeah, it is going to be a close one, depending on what foot the referee puts forward. If he puts that right foot forward for ball placement, it might be short. If he puts that left foot forward, most likely it'll be a 1st down. And unfortunately for the Olympians, it's not. It's 4th down right here.
Just barely. 4th down and 1 yard to go. Maybe the length of the football, and they are definitely going to go for it.
Panthers, can you spell QB sneak?
Well, I wonder how they're going to do that. Looks like they have maybe 8 stacked in the box there, but that goes to Rogers. Rogers is going to go for broke into the end zone. Touchdown, Leuzinger.
They had those defensive linemen closed in, ready for the QB sneak. Good coaching decision by Coach Witt. Had about 5 or 6 guys in there ready for that QB sneak, and great play call to get the ball to Mark Rogers around the edge. And once he got out in the clear, no one was going to catch him.
Rogers with his 3rd touchdown of the game, Omar, a 21-yard scamper into the end zone, and everybody was thinking like you. Yes. On the defensive side, that's for sure.
Great play call. The last 4th down and short, they ran the QB sneak, and on this time they ran the end around with Mark Rogers, and it worked out for him for a touchdown.
Rogers going for the 2, follows his man in, but towards the end zone, but doesn't get in. And the score is 28-28. Can't get any closer.
No, definitely can't get any closer. In a situation like that's where not having a good kicking game comes into boot, where if you had a good kicking game, you can kick the extra point and you'd be up by a point.
12-play drive, 90 yards, and that drive took about 5.5 minutes. So
took a big chunk out of the clock, and Peninsula came out after halftime and put a massive drive together to go down and score, and the Olympians come back and say we can do the same thing. They put a very, very good drive together, marched right down the field 90 yards for a touchdown to tie this ball game up.
Now, I'm not being critical of Mike Witt at all, but the kicking game has been pretty much non-existent for the Olympians, and they do have a fairly good soccer team. But you going through the high school ranks down here, also at San Jose State, where they have a very good soccer program, you know that a soccer coach is not going to let one of his players go to the American football. As Leuzinger trying to put a cork into the run back and do a pretty good job holding the return back beyond the 30-yard line.
Yes, they did. Did a very good job corralling that ball carrier so he couldn't break loose. But they need to do a job on number 34, Cyrus Sabazian, because every time he gets the balls in his hand, he's going to make something happen for the Panthers.
Well, everybody knows what's going to happen. And, well, Leuzinger has thrown a couple of curveballs at Peninsula, which has worked. Now, Burns hands the ball off to the first man. And maybe a couple of yard gain to Ramirez, where it will be second down and about 8 yards to go.
Now, if you're a Leuzinger, you want to get them in a situation where they have to throw the ball. And if they can get a good stop right here and limit this play to 2 or 3 yards, that will put them in a situation where they're pretty much forced to throw. So this is a key down for both teams.
Burns has it, and getting through the line is Burns on the keeper. And a good gain for Eric Burns, and a first down for Burns. So it's 1st and 10 for Peninsula, as somehow he broke through the offensive line.
Yeah, and you don't see that too often. Quarterbacks breaking through up the gut through the defensive line, and that's exactly what happened. He ran the option. He didn't give the ball to the fullback. He kept it himself, and he didn't go around the outside like he did early in the first half, but he kept it and ran up the gut.
Handoff now to Shabazian. Shabazian runs into some trouble, but still is talented enough to get some yardage out of it, spinning and churning and keeping his feet moving beyond the 35-yard line, or the 45-yard line, just at the 45-yard line, and it'll be second down. Second down and 5 yards to go. 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in the third quarter. All tied up at 28. The only thing that's on the line here is the Bay League title. Handoff, Shabazian. Shabazian gets through, and the linebacker has to tackle him. Finally is brought down by number 9.
Yeah, they're going to continue to go with what works, and that's hand the ball off to Cyrus Shabazian, and when he gets tired, hand the ball over to 28 Ryan Ramirez, and it's working. And the Olympians offense knows who's getting the ball. Everybody in the stands knows who's getting the ball, and everybody who's watching this telecast knows who's getting the ball. But the Olympians have to stop it.
And even the coach will tell you, this guy's going to get the bulk. And here's Ramirez, and he is their version of thunder. Shabazian is their version of lightning. And another big gain, a 6-yard gain. It'll be second down and 4 for the Peninsula Panthers. 1:44 left in the third.
Yeah, this game, very, very intense. A lot on the line. These players feel it. The people in the stands feel it. The families understand how big this game is.
Good crowd here.
Very good crowd.
Always good to see the traveling fans. Stacked backfield. Shabazian has it, going over a right tackle, and gets close to a first down. It should be good enough for a first down, as they're not wasting any time moving downfield, starting from their own 29-yard line.
Not at all. And speaking of the crowd, we got some onlookers from another high school. We see some Maricosta football players and coach here, and they're out here watching this game because their future depends on this game also. This game, Peninsula and Leuzinger in a 3-way tie possibly with Maricosta Mustangs, and they're out here watching this game too.
Mustangs host the Seahawks of Redondo as Burns hands it off at the last second. Another good run by Peninsula, and neither of these defense can stop each other's offense.
You're right about that. This has definitely been a lack of defense in this game, and you see here Coach Witt working on something to get this defense to hold strong and get a stop. And it may only take just one stop to win this game.
So a 6-yard gain as it's now 2nd down and 2 as Ramirez gets the pitch, gets a first down, and gets a touchdown. Mercy, he turned on the afterburners as that was a 32-yard touchdown run with 13 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and the lead goes back to the Panthers. It's 34-28.
Yeah, the Panthers come with the option play, and they've been giving the ball up the middle to Cyrus Shabazian about 3 or 4 times, and the Olympians all over him, and wisely the quarterback pulls it out, gets out to the perimeter, pitches it to Ramirez, and there's no defenders in the way. He turns on the Jets and scores a touchdown to take the lead for the Panthers.
Bobbitt wants to tack on the extra point. Snap back, and he does. It's now 35-28. Panthers in front of the Olympians, and it looks like the Panthers kind of weathered the storm going into halftime.
They definitely did, and that's what you get when you got 2 championship caliber teams. They're not going to quit. They're going to fight through the elements, go through the ups and downs of the game, and play their game, and that's what both teams have done today. And it's going to come down to the very, very end to see who wins this game and take the Bay League championship.
71 yards, 9 plays, in about 3 minutes and 50 seconds or so. Capped off by Ramirez's 2nd touchdown of the game. And it's 35-28. Let's go down to Charity.
All right, guys, Coach Witt has his own record against Peninsula. He is 3-2 against them, and the last time one of his squads won against them was 2002. But he says, you know what, that has nothing to do with today, because he says the guys that are on this team weren't even thinking about Leuzinger and Peninsula when that record took place. And he also didn't have Sione Seeley, who on the season has 11 touchdowns, 1,217 rushing yards, or Mark Rogers, who has 21 touchdowns, 1,835 rushing yards for the season. So he has his own personal record, but he says in the big scheme of things, that really means nothing. It means they need to pull out a win. Back to you.
Thanks, Charity. Tack on 3 more touchdowns for Mark Rogers in his career, or this season, I should say. So 24 touchdowns by a high schooler.
That's unprecedented. That's awesome, and that means he's been doing it over the course of the whole season, and he's definitely one of the premier backs in this league.
As he gets the ball, gets up to about the 24-yard line, and that's going to end the 3rd quarter as the drive starts at the 20-yard line and will continue at the 25-yard line. So a 5-yard gain for Mark Rogers, and we'll see if the Olympians can come back with 12 minutes left in this one, 35-28. And we got another nail biter on our hands here on Channel 22 Sports.
Yeah, this is definitely coming down to nut cutting time, and this is the part of the game where someone's gonna have to step up. And it might be one of those situations where not necessarily one team steps up to win the game, but one team makes a crucial mistake to lose the game.
Well, we haven't seen too many penalties. A big one that helped out the Olympians, but I do want to thank our sponsors. These broadcasts are made possible through the generous donations by the Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites South Bay and the South Bay Workforce Investment Board, and through a cooperative agreement with the Lawndale Cable Usage and the Hawthorne Cable Usage Corporation. So thanks a lot to everybody that pitches in and makes these broadcasts possible on Channel 22 Sports. We love bringing them to you. 4th quarter just about ready to get underway. Ball is on the 25-yard line, 2nd and 5 yards to go. Yardage is being fought for very hard as Sione Tooley has it and bangs his way closer to the 30-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and about 3 yards to go.
3rd and 3, crucial down, but 3rd and 3, that's a very good place you want to be in. It's very highly like you can convert a 3rd down and 3 when you have a vaunted running game as Leuzinger Olympians have with those 2 special running backs, number 5 and number 4, Rogers and Tooley.
And also you have the new star on the receiving end, Monroe Ross, but Mark Rogers, his star is still rising. He gets to the 45, has to cut back, gets to midfield, and a first down, Olympians.
Great run by Rogers. He gets outside. Great job by the lineman latching onto the blocks, creating the seam, letting him get out to the perimeter and use that speed that not very many running backs in this league have, but he does possess that breakaway speed. You saw it right there.
10:59 left to go in the game. 35-28. There are no overtimes in the Bay League. And we got that from the CIF. And 23 yards on the gain. 22 yards officially. 22 yards by Rogers. Tooley gets it now. And Tooley has the door shut real quick as he gets about 2 yards.
Only 2 yards. That's very unusual for the Olympian offense on first down, as well as the Panthers. Both teams have been very successful on first down, getting huge chunks of yards. So now 2nd and long, I would think that they would run the ball, but this is a key play because you don't want to, if you're a running, but predominantly running team, you don't want to get into a 3rd and long situation and you're forced to do something that you don't like to throw, which is throw the ball.
And that wind is starting to whip up again right off the coast as Rogers gets the pitch and gets hit early and still makes a good gain out of it. Could have been a 3rd and long, but Mark Rogers keeps those feet going, and it's going to be 3rd and about 2.
And that's the situation that Coach Wood wants to be in. Talking to him earlier, I asked him, is being a wing T team, is there a certain number of passes that they would like to throw? And he says no, they want to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And if they can get in a situation where they can get in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, that's where they want to be. And that's exactly where they are here, 3rd and 2. This is a situation where they want to be. They're just going to run the ball and force the Panthers to try to come up and stop it.
Well, Sakona to Ross hasn't been a bad combination either as he's split to the bottom of your screen. Rogers gets it, cuts back, gets the first down. About a 3-yard gain, call it a 4-yard gain. Inside the 40 to the 38, it's 1st and 10 Olympians with 9:13 left in the game.
See, the Olympians come with the same play as they did before, same play 2 times in a row, and it's very successful. That play right there gets them 4 or 5 yards every time they run it.
Well, it's just like Roger Clemens, you know what he's going to throw, and you know it's going to be hard, you know it's going to be down the middle, it's going to be, can you get it?
Exactly. Like they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
And Tooley's not broke, but he runs into the Panthers. A big stop there. No gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Situation like this, the Panthers need to try to go for the strip. I mean, Olympians are basically moving the ball at will. And if you're a Panther defender, you need to get your hand in a gang tackle, try to rip the ball out, cause a turnover, get the ball back to your offense, and get that key stop that could win you the game and win you a Bay League championship.
They see the good defensive push getting through the offensive line of Leuzinger. But Leuzinger's offensive line has done such a good job all year long. Rogers will get the pitch on 2nd down and 9, and he gets caught from behind. Todd Huber with the big play.
Very good play by Todd Huber, and that's what you're looking for. They're trying to stretch and get out to the outside and pull those guards, and you see Huber just shoot that gap, come underneath the block, making a big, big stop on 2nd down. Now it's 3rd and long, and you're in a situation where the Olympians are pretty much in a situation where they have to throw the ball, which they really don't like to do, but they can do it.
Well, now they have a couple of guys over there watching him. One of them is Nate Carroll, the other one is Danny Matthew watching Monroe Ross. Let's see what happens. As they give the ball to Tooley, the defense stretches it out, and it looks like the Olympians are going to have to punt the ball away, or are they in 4-down territory?
Interesting situation right there, 4th and long. If they are, if you go for it, you're gonna have to throw the ball because you just ran the ball on 3rd and long, you didn't get it. You're in a situation where you got to throw the ball.
Now let's see what Coach Mike Witt does. He's waiting for a decision right now.
And talking to Coach Witt earlier, when he throws the ball, they throw the ball to score, and that's why you've seen when they throw the ball, it's very deep the deep passes. They really don't throw the ball to move the chains. So they're in a situation now where they need to throw the ball to move the chains, and that's an uncomfortable situation for them.
4th and 8. Rogers gets the ball, halfback option, throws it downfield, has a man open, almost intercepted as the ball was thrown short.
The Panthers go with a little trickery. The halfback handoff pass. And the Panther defense coached up very, very well. In the situation, it's 4th and long. They're going to throw the ball, keep the DBs deep, and keep everything in front of you. You see here, running back gets the ball, comes back, hucks it deep. And the secondary all over that play. Great defensive play, and that play right there could be the game.
That's right, the way that this Panther offense can hang on to the ball and chew up yardage. Another touchdown, another long drive would put it in the bank.
Definitely so. The Panthers are going to grind the clock out, run the ball, try to secure the ball, let the clock run, and put the pressure on Leuzinger's defense to make a stop.
Well, we have a timeout on the field, and Omar, I hope we get a chance to work with you again. If this is the last time we get a chance to talk to you, we will have a little post-game show. But it's sure been a pleasure, and hope that your career in the AFL and in coaching and in broadcasting, all three at once, you can juggle those successfully. You already are, and you're on your way.
Thanks a lot. It's great being here, being part of this broadcast, and seeing this great game between Peninsula and Leuzinger.
As the handoff goes to, I believe that's the man, Shabazian. It is. And coming up off the bottom of the pile is Yohan Kavienga. But it'll be 2nd down and 6.
They get the ball to Cyrus Shabazian, gained about a good 4 yards. I'm sure we won't see a pass from Peninsula unless they're in dire situations. But as of right now, they're in the situation they want to be. They're up by a touchdown, and they have the ball with 6 minutes left, and they're going to use that running game.
As the ball is handed off up the middle. So a good defensive play, a 3rd down play, and Leuzinger could get the ball back with the good stuff right here, but they have to stop him on 3rd down, and that's been the Achilles heel so far of the Olympians defense.
Yes, I definitely agree with you there. And third and 5 or 6, they're going to in a situation where they're going to have to maybe run the option and try to get outside, because running up the middle hasn't worked, as you've seen the last 2 plays, or they're going to have to go for their second pass play of the whole game. The Peninsula Panthers, let's see.
3rd down and 5 yards to go, as the 47-yard line is the line of demarcation for the Olympians and the Panthers. Timeout is called. As what a huge play this is. You talk about play of the game. With 5 minutes and 23 seconds left, this could be it.
Yeah, 3rd down. Coach Witt has to get those guys motivated, get that defensive line to get push. You got to get push to disrupt the run, and if it's a pass, to get to the quarterback.
Yep. Peninsula is in the playoffs regardless whether they win or lose this game. And Leuzinger is in this ball game with a Miracosta win. Is that how I understood it?
If they're in with a win, and with the loss, they're in with the Miracosta win.
Okay.
So if they lose and Miracosta loses, Leuzinger's out.
All right, but right now we're still Olympian fans. Still 5 minutes and 23 seconds left to go. They have a very good defense. Let's see if they can stop 3rd and 5, stop Shabazian and company in the gold hats. 3rd and 5. 5 minutes and 25 seconds left. And let's see, is it a motion penalty?
Seems like we're not the only Olympian fans. Seems like Miracosta's cheering for Leuzinger also.
A lot of, well, the Miracosta fans are cheering for the Mustangs, are cheering for the Olympians, and now that 5-yard penalty gives a 1st down to the Panthers, and that's exactly what you don't want as a coach or a player.
No, you want the other team to earn their 1st downs, and you don't want to put your team in a situation where you're giving away 1st downs on penalties before the ball is even snapped, and that's exactly what happened, and that's detrimental to this Olympian defense.
Burns with the handoff, keeps the ball, gets through the line, and almost gets away. The Olympians finally track him down and drag him down at about the 30-yard line, and that one hurt.
Yes, it did, and that penalty might be the straw that broke the camel's back in this game for the Bay League Championship. It was 3rd and 5, and you're in a situation, you get a stop, you can get the ball back, and commit a penalty before the ball's even snapped, and give Peninsula the automatic first down, and they come back and run an option, and quarterback runs and gains 20-something yards to keep the chains moving.
As now the ball goes right up the middle. 23 yards on that play by Burns. Maybe a yard on the play, so it's 2nd down and 9 yards to go. And the Olympians have been so good all game long about penalties, Omar. It's just a shame to see this game being pegged by a 5-yard offside penalty.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. And, you know, these kids are playing their hearts out. They've been practicing hard all week, and they know how big this game is for the Bay League Championship, and for it to be decided on a penalty, that would be very costly.
Burns has it, pitches the ball, and a nice play as a Shabazian doesn't go anywhere. His defensive man, was Johnny on the spot.
That tackle right there may have given the Olympians hope in this game. That play negated a big gain for Peninsula Panthers, and it puts the Panthers in a situation where it's 3rd and long, and they've only attempted to throw the ball once today, and they're in a situation where they have to throw. There isn't too many run plays that are designed to gain 9 yards. So in a situation like this, they're most likely going to have to throw or run it and just let the clock run.
Well, you can hear the Miracosta Mustangs yelling defense. There's a pass play. That was kind of a wounded duck, and now it's going to be 4th down and about 10 yards to go. What was that?
I'm sure Coach Arubaru is asking the same question. What was that? Because I'm sure the play he called, it wasn't supposed to be executed like that. Fake option, and Monroe Ross came in and tipped the ball. As a matter of fact, great play by him. The deflection, it caroms off his hands and goes down and hits the ground. Now it's 4th and long.
Now we have a timeout. Both teams, actually now the Peninsula Panthers have 1 timeout left. The Olympians still have 3 left, and like you said, there's some hope with 3 minutes and 36 seconds left. All of these games have been right down to the wire, and these Leuzinger fans know that you don't go anywhere. Also, I got to say something while we're in a timeout here that was just checking out some of the concessions here. I love to do that because, well, look at me, you know I love to eat. But they had picnic baskets here in Ranchos Palos Verdes. You kind of figure that in the yuppified area here of Rancho Palos Verdes, where you got picnic baskets with sandwiches and stuff like that. Take me back home to Olympian Field where they got the tri-tip and the burgers going.
Definitely a big change when you come up that hill, up Hawthorne Avenue to Palos Verdes, and sandwiches, burgers, all those things come good along with good football, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Very good high school football put on by Peninsula Panthers and Leuzinger Olympians with this 4th down coming up.
There you go. Here's another play of the game. 4th down and 10 yards to go. Burns back to pass, slings it over the middle. It is almost picked off. It is caught. Oh, my goodness. Caught by Derek Pavia after it was almost picked off by the Olympians.
Oh, that could be a heartbreaking play in this game. You see here on the replay, 4th and long. Quarterback just drops back and throws it. Number 44, linebacker Juan Kavinga has an opportunity to catch the ball, get the ball back in his offense's hands, and maybe turn this game around. But unfortunately, couldn't hold on to it. And the tight end re-catches it for the 1st down.
Ball is pitched to Ramirez. Ramirez is banged out of bounds. A heavy collision at the 1-yard line, where it will be 2nd and goal from the 1.
I think that play might have deflated all the hopes and dreams of a championship for the Leuzinger Olympians, barring a turnover. That might be the play that sealed it for the Panthers. But this game's not over. You never know. Anything can happen.
See the misdirection on the option play even got our camera guy there. It's a good option play by this Panther team as the ball goes straight up the middle to Shabazian, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown. And that could be the deadbolt on the door to the Bay League Championship. It's now 41-28.
Yeah, and it's funny how things can happen all because of one play. You see here, they get the ball to Shabazi. The offensive line gets great push. He walks in untouched. And you can tell that if you look on the sidelines and in the stands that the people here and the players and the fans realize that that might be the championship going over to the Peninsula sideline.
So the score with the extra point tacked on makes it 42-28. But what a crazy way to have that the play of the game go through your hands literally and into the tight end's hands for a 1st and goal.
Yeah, 2 plays on that drive. The penalty on 3rd and 5 and that dropped interception by a linebacker. That pretty much sealed the fate of the Leuzinger Olympians.
So 3.5 minutes on the drive as it started on the 36-yard line. So a 64-yard drive. 10 plays. Capped off by the 1-yard run by Cyrus Shabazian, his 4th touchdown of the day. 3 minutes left to go. Crazier things have happened. That's for sure. Like a run back and an onside kick.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, let's see what Ben Bobbitt has in mind as the kicking game. They're going to kick it as Rogers has it. Rogers looking for some room to run, runs into the wedge and gets thrown back. So it'll be a long way to go for Leuzinger with 2:55 left in this game.
A quick score can get you back in this game, and with the arm strength that Sakono has and the speed of wide receiver Monroe Ross, that's not a daunting task. You can get one big play to get you down the midfield, anything can happen. But you got to get the ball moving, and you got to play with some urgency. You can't just walk around, get in the huddle. You got to play with a little hurry up going on here to get back in this game.
2:55 left to go in this one, down by 2 touchdowns. Sakona gonna throw it, has a man open. Is it short? It is just short, knocked away from Chris William. And defending on the play was Mike Sujimoto.
See here the play action fake, drop back and throw it deep has been the recipe of success for the passing of the Olympians, but that one came up just a little bit short. Let's see if they do it again, but the leading receiver of the game, Monroe Ross.
2:48 left to go as now the ball is taken on the misdirection by Tooley on the double handoff, and the Panther defense holds. They learned their lessons well.
Yes, sir, they did. Now it's 3rd and long. Must throw situation. You got to try to get the ball in the hands of Monroe Ross. That's a tongue twister, Monroe Ross.
And boy, he's been an animal on offense and defense, also doing punt return duties. Just a terrific player. All of these specialty players are good, but they're only as good as their offensive line and defensive line, that's for sure. I'm sure you, as a defensive back and a wide receiver, know that.
Yeah, and all the receivers and the defensive backs and the quarterbacks, they get all the glitz and glamour, but nothing can go right. You can't even get the ball in your hands unless those big guys up front are doing their job. And Leuzinger's linemen have been doing their job run-wise, but now they might have to do a little something different. They might have to pass protect and give some time for the quarterback, Sakona, to get the ball deep.
And that truly is different, especially when you've been used to the wing T stuff. Sakona back to pass and slips it over to Rogers. Actually, that's Solomon Tolowake as he gets the ball, and I believe that's going to be good enough for a first down.
Yes, it is. Keep the chains moving. Nice reception by the 6'3", 210 defensive end / tight end.
So an 11-yard gain, and that's his first catch of the season. Of course, with the wing T offense, any catch could be the first catch of the season.
Exactly.
Back to pass again, and going for Ross, and almost intercepted by the Panthers, and Monroe Ross had to play DB there on that one. Thinks he should have had it.
Yeah, and as a receiver, you go up and you're looking for the ball, and you see that you're not going to be able to make a catch. You automatically have to go into defensive back mode and prevent the interception. You see here, the ball's overthrown. Ross goes up and knows that it's overthrown, so he just one-hands it and knocks it down so the defender couldn't get the interception. And it continues to give the Olympians another chance to try to move this ball down the field.
Now Monroe, he has double coverage on him now.
Rightfully so. I mean, he's had a huge first half, had the 3 big catches.
One for a touchdown. Sakona wants to pass again. Going for the home run. Ball is tripped up, and they're not going to throw the flag as Chris William and the defensive backs double coverage again, and no flag thrown as the Olympian faithful wanted that flag.
Yes, they did want a flag, but good non-call. It was incidental contact. The DBs have a right for the ball. They were just running, and the receiver ran right into them, so there was no pass interference there, and it was overthrown by quite a bit. So either that or it was an uncatchable ball, warranting the flag staying in the pocket of the referee and not being thrown.
So it'll be 3rd down and 10, a running play, and Levitai goes up the middle, gets some yardage up to about the 34-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and 6.
4th down, you're going to most likely have to throw the ball, try to get the ball in the hands of Monroe Ross. And they've been throwing the deep ball every time they drop back to pass. You might want to change it up, maybe try to throw something just to get the first down to keep the chains moving and not go for the home run.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a little waggle out there for about 10 yards.
Yeah, that would be nice, and I'm sure that's not what Peninsula is looking for. They're looking for the deep ball because that's all we've seen all day was the deep ball. So you might want to try to do a little crossing route, get 9-10 yards to keep this drive going.
Monroe Ross is split to the near side, where it's 4th down and 7, 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. It's 42 to 28. As now the ball gets away, it's bouncing around, picked up by the Panthers, and now that should pretty much do it with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left to go, but still a lot of time left. You never know.
Yeah, you never know, but the odds of losing even getting the ball back, slim and none. The way Peninsula runs the ball, and they go with the play action fake again, and the Panthers ready for it. They blitz outside and hit the quarterback before he even can get his head around to throw the ball. Peninsula recovers the ball, and 2 minutes left.
So Mike Sugimoto getting in there and stripping the ball away, forcing that fumble. So Burns hands the ball off, and rumbling, just picking up some more yardage as it was 1st and 10 from the 15. Down to the 7-yard line, so a nice 8-yard gain.
The Leuzinger faithful praying for a turnover. Hasn't been any turnovers for Peninsula all game, so not likely that will happen. Peninsula going to just try to run this 159 down to secure this championship of the Bay League this year.
And now the Mustangs are leaving. That's too bad. They were some good fans.
Yeah, and they were rooting for Leuzinger, hoping that they would pull this game out. And that would That would have pushed Maricosta up in the standings, but that didn't happen, so that basically sealed their fate. Now they got to go back and get ready for Redondo.
Yeah, maybe Leuzinger can return the favor.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be some Leuzinger fans at that game, because if Maricosta loses to Redondo, Leuzinger's out.
And the ball is close to the end zone. The Panthers think it's a touchdown, but it's not. It's a first down, though, at the goal line, so it'll be 1st and 10, first and goal from the goal line.
Hopefully Leuzinger can stay strong down there, stay strong and stout down there by the goal line and prevent Peninsula from getting a touchdown, so the score won't look as bad, because 42-28 is a 14-point game. It's a lot better than a 21-point game.
Now, that's true. The second half was certainly dominated by the Panthers, as they're going to take a knee with 1 minute and 11 seconds left to go. Classy move by the Panthers coaching staff.
Very classy. You know, both these teams, well-coached teams, very respected programs, respected by each other. And you know, Peninsula won the game. They don't want to rub it in. They're just glad to win this game against a very quality opponent in Leuzinger, and to come into a must-win situation against a very tough team, just to sneak out with a win is a great feeling for the Panthers. So they just want to kneel the ball down, let the clock run, so they can celebrate and, you know, enjoy this victory.
35 seconds left to go. This should do it. 30 seconds to go. It's 42-28. Mike Witt congratulating his seniors. Just shaking hands over there with the big center, Abraham Cruz. Also, he and Sean Levitai are now hugging over there. 14 seconds left to go. Peninsula and Leuzinger shaking hands as this one counts down. 5 seconds left to go and 3 seconds left to go. The horn is going to sound, and that's going to bring an end to the Bay League season for the Leuzinger Olympians, as Peninsula is celebrating on their field, and well, they should. A hard-fought 42-28 win for the Panthers to win the Bay League going away.
Very hard-fought game for Peninsula. They gutted it out against a talented Olympian team, and they just made enough plays to win this game. And like I mentioned earlier, it was a situation where it wasn't going to be one of the teams were going to step up and make a big play to win. One team was going to make a mistake to lose the game, and that's what Leuzinger did. The penalty and the dropped interception by the defensive player, that right there was costly in their loss against Peninsula Panthers tonight.
And you can say that the Olympians, they are a good team, but these Panthers found a way to win and get through the buzzsaw that is the Olympians. As well, they went toe-to-toe there in the first half.
Yes, they did. In the third quarter, they went toe-to-toe too, and it was tied up 28-28. And just the Leuzingers weren't opportunistic enough to make the play when it came to them to get the ball back in the offense's hands.
As Mark Rogers had 3 touchdowns on the game, his counterpart, Cyrus Shabazian, had 4 touchdowns on the game. Ryan Ramirez had 2 for Peninsula. As I don't even think, well, Eric Burns threw 2 passes. One of them was an alleged pass, and the other one should have been an interception.
It should have been.
As Mano Sakona was very good throwing, as he and Monroe Ross hooked up for a couple of passes. One of them was a touchdown, as it was a 44-yard touchdown pass from Sakona to Ross, and that really did it for the Olympians. As Sakona is going to be coming back next year, and Monroe Ross is a junior. He'll be back as well, so that combination coming back as seniors with that new diamond in the rough, they should polish that up by next year.
They're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come, especially next year with that beast of a quarterback and the athleticism on the outside by Monroe Ross, and you got Mark Rogers coming back, who's arguably the best running back in the league right now, come back as a senior, with more experience under his belt. Leuzinger will definitely be a force to be reckoned with next year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're fighting for another league championship next year.
Marquittin Mitchell will be in there as running back next year. Also, Cartier Davis could be there as well. Two young men who can carry the ball in their own right, and that should be fun to see who is going to be in the backfield for the Olympians next year. But there's still this year to think about, because Miracosta has to play Redondo, and Miracosta has to beat the Seahawks in order for the Olympians to move on to the next round, or the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, very important game for Miracosta, because they want to win and improve their seeding. And for Leuzinger, they're going to have their fingers crossed, hoping Miracosta wins and beats Redondo to push them into the playoffs.
Well, the final score is 42-28 Peninsula over Leuzinger. We'll be back with more postgame action right after this on Channel 22 Sports. All right, so back here at Peninsula High School, where the Panthers have won the Bay League with a 42-28 win over the Leuzinger Olympians, and only one touchdown scored by the Olympians in the second half, and that was a 21-yard touchdown run by Mark Rogers on a 90-yard drive. And let's go down to Charity Bailey with Coach Mike Witt.
All right, guys, I'm down here on the field with Coach Witt. Coach Witt, your guys gave it a great run, and in the second half, you just couldn't seem to make it happen.
Well, they made adjustments at halftime, and we came out and scored one touchdown in the second half, and we can't do that. We got to score when we get the ball and finish drives. And so Peninsula's a great team, and they played well, and they just beat us.
All right, you've had the opportunity to coach a great group of guys. Tell us about your guys.
Oh, they just fought all year. We're going to get in the playoffs. Maricosta's going to take care of business. And we will be playing next week, and we got 4 more weeks to play. It's just 2/3 of the season, and the last third will work out perfectly.
All right, now I heard you tell you guys to keep their heads up. What do you do to come back to be prepared for the playoffs next week?
Oh, they'll be fine. I mean, how can you not be disappointed after today? We played for the league championship. They better be disappointed. So they'll let it go. They'll get through tomorrow and get through Saturday, and they'll let it go, and they'll be ready. They'll be at work on Monday.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, guys, we're going to take it back up to you. But first, tomorrow, Miracosta will play Redondo. Should Redondo win, Leuzinger goes home. But if Miracosta wins, Leuzinger will be back next week, and we're all looking forward to that. Back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Charity Bailey. As usual, a terrific job and a beautiful shot of the South Bay area and San Pedro, and just a wonderful place to be. And also Leuzinger High School is a wonderful place to be. The Olympians with a terrific year this year on the gridiron, and very hopeful. Mike Witt, and they'll all be Mustang fans, that's for sure, trying to stomp on the Seahawks as the Olympians fall just short a couple of touchdowns. 42-28 the final score. And Omar Smith, this was a terrific ball game, as the score certainly is not indicative of how this game was played.
No, without a doubt. It was a very close game all through the 4 quarters for the most part. Back and forth. Peninsula came out strong. Leuzinger came out strong. The running games were in full effect. Going into halftime tied up. And Leuzinger just didn't make enough plays in the end to get the victory. But it was a very, very well-played game by both teams. So Leuzinger should not feel disappointed or slighted at any point of the game. And, it was a very, very good game and very tough fought game all the way through the end of the 4th quarter.
That's right. It says Leuzinger ends their regular season portion at 7-3. This is only their first loss on the road, Omar, 4-1, so they're a terrific team on the road. So when they go to the playoffs next week, that has to go in their favor.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure next week when they're in the playoffs, they're going to think about this game when it comes down to the fourth quarter, when they need to make a play, they make the play because if they would have made the key plays, they would have won this game tonight.
Now, 13 penalties last week and one glaring penalty today.
Yeah, that penalty was very, very costly at the end of the fourth quarter, the 3rd down and 5 situation, and they made the penalty to give the Peninsula the first down. And in a situation like that, the coach is going to have to, before those situations, the coach has to tell his players, be focused, work at the task at hand, and don't give away a first down. Let them earn it.
And you had your first chance to see Thunder and Lightning, Sione Thule and Mark Rogers, the running tandem, and, a couple of additions in there. Mano Sakona, the quarterback, and now his new weapon, Monroe Ross, and that was fun to see. Now they have a multitask offense.
Yeah, that could be beneficial to them going into the playoffs. They have these guys come in and step up, and you got the Thunder and Lightning and the quarterback and the receiver on the outside. They're going to cause some problems for some teams in the playoffs.
All right, Omar, I want to thank you very much for joining us. Charity Bailey also doing a great job down in the field as well. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you again real soon.
Yes, definitely, anytime.
All right, so Omar Smith, Charity Bailey down in the booth, and Tom Strickfaden and the whole crew for Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television. Channel 22 Sports want to congratulate Mark Rogers with 3 touchdowns on the game. Mark is our Holiday Inn Hotel Express Hotel and Suites Player of the Game. Boy, that's a mouthful there. We had a whole bunch of mouthfuls today, didn't we?
Yes, we
did.
Words.
Let me do that one more time, as I want to thank all of our sponsors, Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites, as they crown Mark Rogers the Player of the Game with 3 touchdowns. Also, I want to thank the South Bay Workforce Investment Board as a sponsor all year long, too. Well, also for Rufus Washington, David Smock, who's also helped us out in a couple of games, and for Charity Bailey, Tom Strickfaden, and our new friend Omar Smith, this is Lou Stowers thanking you for coming with us to Peninsula High to watch Leuzinger fall just short of the Bay League Championship, losing 42-28 to Peninsula High. Until next week, so long. The preceding presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week was brought to you in part by a generous donation from the Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites, South Bay. The Holiday Inn Express is partnering with Channel 22 Sports to help promote our young people in sports competition and academics so that everyone in our community wins. The Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites. Stay smart. The preceding presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week was brought to you in part by a generous donation from the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board is working together with Channel 22 Sports to promote an environment where everyone can maximize their career potential and so that all employers have the human resources they need to grow and prosper. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board. When you need us, we are there for you.